in a day. Tomorrow I cannot think of taking Salekhna or Santhara. I have to prepare myself. I have to detach myself from the body, passion of the body. Then only perhaps one out of millions can go for that kind of practice. Not an ordinary person. It is not a job of an ordinary person. Anybody cannot take Santhara. One has to prepare himself or herself mentally. Then only a day may come, if he is fortunate enough and if he is blessed enough, then a day may come that he may embrace the Santhara. Next. Now, there is a evidence 869 before Christ, Doda Hundi Nishidi inscription was raised in the honor of West Ganga dynasty king Niti Magra. The king was a devout Jain who observed the vow of Salekhna. These memorial stones which you find in Nishidi were raised in the medieval India to honor the noted Jain who took Salekhna. So there are ample evidence. This is just one evidence because I know the time constraint is there. There are ample evidences. I'll show some of the historic Santhara cases where this practice has been adopted from, I can say, time immemorial. The High Court said that there is no religious practice. It is not protected under Article 25, that is right to freedom of religion. That was the error which High Court committed. Now we have supporting religious texts. I have taken it from a very noted treatise by Justice T.K. Tukul, who has written a wonderful treatise on Santhara. I have taken these citations from this book, his book only, which indicates that what are the scripture support for the practice of Santhara, how one can live and prepare oneself to leave the body. Next, please. Now, here are some historic examples. Even I think one mistake which we generally commit is that we claim that Santhara word is used in our Jain philosophy, but in Hindu philosophy you also find Samadhi. There are many saints who have taken Jivit Samadhi. Baba Ramdev of Rajasthan, a great local deity in Rajasthan, in whose name every year we have a mela, which is the biggest mela of the India. He took the Jivit Samadhi. Lord Ram took the Jivit Samadhi in Saryu River. Lord Mahavira, our Tirthankar, he attained the state of Samadhi before leaving his body. Buddha, he attained Nirvana in the state of Samadhi. Next. Ramakrishna Paramahans, a great Hindu saint who practiced essential unity of all religion, also embraced Samadhi, Maran. As I said, Baba Ramsa Peer. Vinoba Bhave is a contemporary example. Anandmayi Ma, another example. Srimad Raichand Bhai, a great spiritual seeker in Jain religion, whom Gandhiji said that I treat him as my religious and spiritual guru, took Samadhi Maran Santhara at a very young age of 33. Though he was not a saint, but saints adored him more than a saint. He was more than a saint. Next. Recently, in past 15 years, the Bhai Sampradaya sect, Hastimaji Maharaj Sahib, a great saint, who was also working for the essential unity of all the Jain sects, and his treatise on Jain history are some of the finest treatise. He also took Samadhi Maran, Santhara, at a place called Nimaj. And there was a great celebration. Lakhs of lakhs people went and had his darshan. Next, please. So these examples adequately prove that Santhara is not just a modern practice, it's an age-old practice followed by great saints and seekers. Now, the Rajasthan High Court in Nikhil Soni versus Union of India on 10th of August, Jaipur bench, gave the judgment that Santhara is a suicide. I have read that 46-page judgment. In 42 pages, yes, the honorable judges, I don't want to criticize the judges, but in 42 pages, the judges have given the arguments of both the sides, and in just 2 pages, remaining 2 pages, they said, we declare that Santhara is suicide, and it is not protected under Article 25, that is freedom of religion. So it was an abrupt judgment. The judges, honorable judges, did not respond to the points raised by the petitioners and non-petitioners. Non-petitioners were we people were the non-petitioners. Petitioner was Nikhil Soni. So instead of counter-arguing or instead of demolishing the arguments of the non-petitioner that it is not Santhara is not protected. The judges simply declared that it is a suicide, it is equated with the suicide, therefore we ban it. So these are the two articles, 25, 26, 29, freedom of religion. Article 21 says right to life and dignity. Earlier Supreme Court declared right to life includes right to die, but then they changed it. They say no, right to life does not include right to die. So High Court said that Santhara is covered under 3606 and 309. It is attempt to suicide, and those who support Santhara, they are all guilty of abetment to suicide. So anybody who goes to visit Santhara, person taking Santhara is a part of abetment to suicide. Next. Now, there is historical context also. So Privy Council way back in 1860, it's a gender injustice. No male will go for sati. So that has also been banned by the law. And now suicide is banned by law. It is an abrupt end of life, frustration, out of fear, secretively done, whereas Santhara is done in open. It's a mastering. It is when body is treated as a case. It is the highest form of aparigraha. There is no fear of death. All these are the arguments which justify the Santhara and last. So what I think is, the argument was given by the petitioner that it is disturbing the secular character of the country if we allow Santhara to practice. I am raising the contrary argument. If you don't allow the Santhara, if you put a ban on Santhara, you are disturbing the secular fabric of the country. Every person, every religion, every sect has a right to practice its religious practices. The law supports it, constitution supports it. So it is because of our ill information, our prejudices against a particular religion that we are opposing Santhara. So if we properly understand the Santhara, its meaning, its object, then perhaps we would not oppose. And finally, I read these two lines. The ill-informed and prejudicial approach of misguided people is going to cause harm to the socio-cultural unity of the sects and thus detrimental to the secular credentials of India. So what we need is a proper objective assessment of the concept of Santhara, then perhaps these kind of things will not emerge. Thank you very much.
I would request now co-chair Professor Subhash Chandra to present a memento to the Professor Bhandari for this session.
You have given a very new life to the people.
Thank you.
Mastering art of life as well as life of death. Mastering art of death. First of all, mastering art of life is also very difficult, but you can master art of death by designing your next birth. First, mastering art of life, then designing your new birth. How you can design? Following Jainism philosophy, following value education, and implementing those values which are given. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
The next invited talk for this technical session 3 is Dr. Lakshmi Chandra Jain, who is PhD and have specialized in electronics and solid state physics and retired professor of physics, Government College of Engineering, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. He has 35 years of experience in teaching and 10 years of experience in research. He has published more than 40 papers and have written 4 books. He has received many awards and is a fellow of All India Physics Teachers Association. I request him to come with us.
Respected chairperson and invited speakers and delegates and audiences. It is my privilege to present my paper Anekan and Modern Physics. When I speak about Anekan, I think every delegate and every Jain knows the meaning of Anekan. So there is hardly anything to explain. But many researches have been conducted towards the co-relevance between science and Anekan. Why? Because our Jain religion is a scientific religion, and therefore there was a need to correlate the modern innovations in the field of physics with our Anekant of Jainism. there had been several persons who have tried to make correlation between physics, modern physics and this Anekan, but their approach was based on 7 points of notion that is known as Saptabhangi. But I have developed a totally new concept, new method, and that new method is to correlate the concepts of modern physics with the similar concepts of our Jainism. And because we know that Jainism is based on the principles of this Anekan, and therefore if I can establish relation between the two, that means concept of physics and concept of similar concepts of our Jainism, then I think I shall be able to say that modern physics innovations, they also follow Anekan, principle of Anekan. So, first of all, the correlation I have made is in between the four things. The correlation is between the four Jain and scientific concept of cosmic space, the physical universe and empty space. Number 2, Jain and scientific concept of quantum mechanics. Number 3, concept of Jain atom and matter in Jainism and science. Number 4, Einstein's theory of relativity. And number 5, Einstein's mass-energy relation. So, the three very important outcome of this study are that our Jain Parmanu, Jain atom, which is the ultimate particle of matter, is similar to quanta of physics. In quantum mechanics or in physics, we define a very small part of energy, and that is given the name quanta. I shall just explain what is it. Number 2, the concept of quantum mechanics also exists in our Jainism. Nobody has so far claimed. Simply there had been some hint, some indication in our Tattvar Sutras and Uttaradhyan Sutra and other places, because our this Jain Parmanu being so very small, smaller than the ordinary atom of physics or atom of science. And therefore, because of so many things, I will just tell you, the Jain atom has the similarity as that of this quanta of physics. Number 3, very important thing is that so far in modern physics and science, there had been discovery of only 118 elements so far. But as per our Jain philosophy and Jain permutation and combination between various Jain atoms, we can claim that there can be presence of 200 elements in this universe. That means there is a possibility of 200 elements which can exist instead of 118. So then, if we start directly comparison, then first thing is about cosmic space. So in cosmic space, Jainism and the other scientists over Einstein, Einstein has word, he has given the definition of this cosmic space, and he says that the cosmic space is similar. It is divided just like in our Jainism. We say that the space is divided into two parts. The first part, the part which is known as our universe, is the place where all the 6 elements, 6 our eternal substances, 6 dravya jo hai, 6 eternal substances, they are seen in the space that is known as our cosmic, this is known as physical space or universe. and remaining part is empty space. Both divisions of space are intangible. The physical space accommodates all five entities, namely the principle of motion, principle of rest, souls, matter and energy, and time. Jain scriptures mention that though the space is continuous, infinite and boundless, it fluctuates as if it is made of infinite number of Jain atomic size iotas. It is to be noted that the Jain atom is an extremely tiny, formless, dimensionless and individual particle known as Jain atom, which occupies a single iota of space. Due to the property of contraction and expansion of matter, a large number of Jain atoms can be accommodated in a single iota of space. And there is definition is given by our Acharya Navichandracharya in Dravya Sangrah that I skipped. Then, according to Einstein, theory given in 1905, cosmic space is infinite gravitational field which contains a small amount of matter and energy. Einstein called physical universe as visual space or universe and empty space as infinite empty space containing dark matter and dark energy. Jain scriptures are also of the similar view with a little difference that empty space is not empty but contains cosmic material also known as energy quantum field that fluctuates continuously. Then next thing is about Jain and scientific concept of quantum mechanics. So as I have just told, there is no mention about presence of this quantum mechanics in our Jainism, in Jain scriptures. But firstly, the Einstein or his contemporary workers, they have developed this quantum mechanics. And first thing, this scientist known as Planck has given the concept of energy in the form E is equal to nhc upon lambda or simply nh nu, where n may have any value 1, 2, 3 etc. And if we keep value of E equal to 1, then E becomes equal to h nu, simply h nu or hc upon lambda, where all these constants have definite values. H is Planck's constant and c is the velocity of light, lambda is the wavelength of light and all that. So keeping this n is equal to 1 in this equation, so the if we keep value n is equal to 1, then E becomes equal to c upon lambda or h nu. So that is the minimum value of the energy, but as this value which is obtained as in the form of quanta of energy, quantization of energy, we can say that in our Jain Parmanu, because when combination skand or molecule is made in between the combination of one Parmanu with so many other Parmanus, then there is a definite rule for that. And in that rule, we find that the value of this thing, applying mathematics of permutation combination of 5 colors, 5 tastes, 2 smell and 4 touches, in Dravyani Yoga, 5 into 5 into 2 into 4 is equal to 200 types of Jain Parmanu. It is very alarming and significant information. Science has discovered only 118 types of elements so far as against 200 types as mentioned above. Further, it is mentioned in Jain literature that lightning occurs on account of Snigdha and Ruksh attributes. Professor G.R. Jain has identified Snigdha and Ruksh kinds of touch with positive and negative kinds of electric charge. Thus, touch refers to electrical charge. According to Bhagavati Sut, Jain atoms execute several types of motion, and this is all about that. And next thing is about Einstein's theory of relativity. So our Anekant itself is saying that in different frames of reference, the things will change, and therefore Einstein's theory of relativity is very much obeyed in Jainism also. And next thing is Einstein's mass-energy relation. And Einstein says that mass will increase with speed, and the height of any mountain will also be given by certain equation. So that means there is change in the perspective of a person standing on earth and one who is in the speeding this vein. So that way, the rest, and ultimately, that also suggests that the two things, the similarity between Einstein's mass energy relation or Einstein's theory of relativity that exists in our Jainism. And finally, if we conclude, there is a close relation between principle of Anekant and findings of modern physics. Many discoveries of physics are already mentioned in Jain literature. It is shown that the achievements made in the field of physics perfectly match with the Anekant of Jainism. The scientific interpretation of Parmanu and Vargana has opened the way to understand Jain philosophy. The Jain Parmanu, 1 minute only. Jain Parmanu, the real quantum of energy, is far too smaller than the quantum of energy photon assumed in physics. The journey of science has been from gross to fine, and it has gone to the level of quark. Jain philosophy starts from the ultimate particle Parmanu and proceeds to describe the gross form of matter. Jain philosophy says that the fundamental constituent of nature is Parmanu, which aggregates into Vargana, and Vargana makes up the gross particles like quark, electron, etc. Thus, Jain philosophy and modern physics together reveal more complete picture of the physical reality. The doctrine of 7 aspects of Anekantvad not only provides a means for achieving rational perception and rational knowledge, but it is also furnishing an effective means of living at peace with self and surroundings. The rational perception, rational knowledge, and rational conduct can come about only if we try to understand different viewpoints. Peace and harmony can come only if we try to understand others' position. It should be pointed out that the understanding of others' viewpoints leads to absence of anger, pride, deceit, and greed. This results in the prevention of karmic influx and shading of karma particles. This is the path of happiness and peace in life and ultimately liberation, nirvana. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for spreading the quanta energy field and imparting quantas of ideas in with notation of quantum mechanics and Jainism in together. And I would request Professor P.S. Tucker, the chair of the session, to give the present a memento on an occasion to Professor Jain. Start with the oral presentations for the technical session 3. I would like to tell that as we are running short of the time, you have been given the 7 minutes to talk and 3 minutes for the discussion. And the first presenter for this session in the oral section is Dr. Rajesh Kumar Jain from Electronics Division of BARC, Mumbai, India. And he will be talking on the topic of dream mystery from the perspective of science and religion.
Jai Jinendra. Though we are being late, I will try to finish as early as possible. My topic is dreams, relative perspective of science and religion.